परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस इसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की ISKCON फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य सेवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड शील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज शील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री द्वारकापुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। पतित पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 19. Swavidvarahoshtrakaraihi संसुस्तः पुरुषः पशुः न यत्कर्णपथोपेतो जातु नाम गदाग्रजः श्वविद्वराहोष्ट्रखरैः संस्तुतः पुरुषः पशुः न यत्कर्णपथोपेतो जातु नाम गदाग्रजः श्वविद्वराहोष्ट्रखरैः संस्तुतः पुरुषः पशुः न यत्कर्णपथोपेतो जातु नाम गदाग्रजः स्विद्वराहोष्ट्रखरैः संस्तुतः पुरुषः पशुः न यत्कर्णपथोपेतो जातु नाम गदाग्रजः स्वविद्वराहोष्टकरे संस्तुतः पुरुषः पशु न यत्कर्णपथोपेतो जातु नाम कृताग्रजः स्वविद्वराहोष्टकरे संस्तुतः पुरुषः पशु न यत्कर्णपथोपेतो जातु नाम गदाग्रजः स्वविद्वराहोष्टकरैः संस्तुतः पुरुषः पशुः न यत्कर्णपथोपेतो जातु नाम गदाग्रजः स्वविद्वराहोष्टकरैः संस्तुतः पुरुषः पशुः न यत्कर्णपथोपेतो जातु नाम गदाग्रजः स्व a dog. Vidvaraha, the village hog who eats stool. Ushtra, the camel. Kharehi, and by the asses. Samstutaha, perfectly praised. Purushaha, a person. Pashuhu, animal. Na, never. Yat, of him. Karna, ear. Patha, path. Upeta, reached. Jatu, at any time. Nam, the holy name. Gadagrajaha, Lord Krishna, the deliverer from all evils. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels and asses praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Purport is pretty graphic purport and pretty long, so please try to pay attention. The general mass of people, unless they are trained systematically for a higher standard of life in spiritual values, are no better than animals. And in this verse, they have particularly been put on the level of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Modern university education practically prepares one to acquire a doggish mentality with which to accept the service of a greater master. After finishing a so-called education, the so-called educated persons move like dogs from door to door with applications for some service, and mostly they are driven away, informed of no vacancy. As dogs are negligible animals and serve the master faithfully for bits of bread, a man serves a master faithfully without sufficient rewards. Persons who have no discrimination in the matter of foodstuff and who eat all sorts of rubbish are compared to hogs. Hogs are very much attached to eating stools. So stool is a kind of foodstuff for a particular type of animal. And even stones are eatables for a particular type of animal or bird. But the human being is not meant for eating everything and anything. He is meant to eat grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, sugar, etc. Animal food is not meant for the human being. For chewing solid food, the human being has a particular type of teeth meant for cutting fruits and vegetables. The human being is endowed with two canine teeth as a concession for persons who will eat animal food at any cost. It is known to everyone that one man's food is another man's poison. Human beings are expected to accept the remnants of food offered to Lord Sri Krishna, and the Lord accepts foodstuffs from the categories of leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. Bhagavad Gita 9.26. As prescribed by Vedic scriptures, no animal food is offered to the Lord. Therefore, a human being is meant to eat a particular type of food. He should not imitate the animals to drive so-called vitamin values. Therefore, a person who has no discrimination in regard to eating is compared to a hog. The camel is a kind of animal that takes pleasure in eating thorns. A person who wants to enjoy family life or the worldly life of so-called enjoyment is compared to the camel. Materialistic life is full of thorns, and so one should live only by the prescribed method of Vedic regulations just to make the best use of a bad bargain. Life in the material world is maintained by sucking one's own blood. The central point of attraction for material enjoyment is sex life. To enjoy sex life is to suck one's own blood, and there is not much more to be explained in this connection. The camel also sucks its own blood while chewing thorny twigs. The thorns the camel eats cut the tongue of the camel, and so blood begins to flow within the camel's mouth. The thorns, mixed with fresh blood, creates a taste for the foolish camel, and so he enjoys the thorn-eating business with false pleasure. Similarly, the great business magnates, industrialists who work very hard to earn money by different ways and questionable means, eat the thorny results of their actions mixed with their own blood. Therefore, the Bhagavatam has situated those diseased fellows along with the camels. The ass is an animal who is celebrated as the greatest fool, even amongst the animals. The ass works very hard and carries burdens of the maximum weight without making profit for itself. Should we read the footnote? Okay. So now, right? So the footnote says, human life is meant for earning values. This life is called arthadam, or that which can deliver values. And what is the greatest value of life? It is to return home back to Godhead, as indicated in Bhagavad Gita 8.15. One's selfishness must be aimed at the point of going back to Godhead. The ass does not know his self-interest, and it works very hard for others only. A person who works very hard for others only, forgetting his personal interest available in human form of life, is compared to the ass. In the Brahma Vaivarta Puran, it is said, Ashtim Chaturschaiva Laksham Tan Jiva Jatishu Brahmadbhir Purushah Prapyam Manushyam Janma Prapyatah Prayatyata Tadapi Abhalatam. Yes, footnote. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tadapi Abhalatam Jatah Tesham Atmabhimanam Varakaman Anashrityam Govinda Charanadvayam. The human life is so important that even the demigods in the higher planets sometimes aspire for a human body on this earth, because in the human body one can only easily go back to Godhead. In spite of having obtained such an important body, if one does not establish his lost eternal relation with Govinda, Lord Krishna, he is certainly a fool who has forgotten his self-interest. This human form of material body is obtained by a gradual process of evolution to one body after another in a cycle of 8.4 million varieties of life. And the poor man, forgetting this importance for his own interest, involves himself in so many illusory engagements for uplifting the position of others as a leader of political emancipation and economic development. There is no harm in trying for political emancipation or economic development, but one should not forget the real aim of life. All such philanthropic activities must be dovetailed to returning to Godhead. One who does not know this is compared to the ass who works only for others without their or his own welfare in mind. So back to the purport. The ass is generally engaged by the washerman, whose social position is not very respectable. And the special qualification of the ass is that it is very much accustomed to being kicked by the opposite sex. When the ass begs for sexual intercourse, he is kicked by the fair sex, yet he still follows the female for such sexual pleasure. A henpecked man is compared, therefore, to the ass. The general mass of people work very hard, especially in the age of Kali. In this age, the human being is actually engaged in the work of an ass, carrying heavy burdens and driving thela and rickshaws. The so-called advancement of human civilization has engaged a human being in the work of an ass. The laborers in great factories and workshops are also engaged in such burdensome work, and after working hard during the day, the poor laborer has to be again kicked by the fair sex, not only for sex enjoyment, but also for so many household affairs. So, Srimad Bhagavatam's categorization of the common man without any spiritual enlightenment into the society of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses is not at all an exaggeration. The leaders of such ignorant masses of people may feel very proud of being adorned by such a number of dogs and hogs, but that is not very flattering. The Bhagavatam openly declares that although a person may be a great leader of such dogs and hogs disguised as men, if he has no taste for being enlightened in the science of Krishna, such a leader is also an animal and nothing more. He may be designated as a powerful, strong animal or a big animal, but in the estimation of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is never given a place in the category of man on account of his atheistic temperament. Or, in other words, such godless leaders of dogs and hog-like man are bigger animals with the qualities of animals in greater proportion. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर सादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण। So I seek blessings of all devotees so that I can speak something for my purification, for all of your pleasure and for glorifying Lord. So today's verse, pretty heavy in the series of verses. So wherein the scene is that Shukadeva Goswami at the start of chapter, he tells, in the first verse itself, he tells that Maharaj Parikshit, as you have inquired from me as to the duty of an intelligent man who is on the threshold of death, so I have answered you. So he explains about different yogic process and bhakti yoga. So, and then Shaunaka Rishi, being an very inquisitive sages, they inquire to Suta Goswami that what happened next, because they had stopped that, Muninam Dirgha Satrena sacrifice, which was supposed to go for thousands of years. They stopped that and they came to listen about Srimad Bhagavatam. So they are very much eager. They wanted that at least the discussion should go 7 days. That means whatever they discussed, we should hear, plus whatever related to that. So they are prodding like a calf, while drinking milk. He pushes the mother, and the more milk comes. So same way, if we want to get a knowledge from a self-realized soul, we have to push them gently. How? By asking questions. So same way, Shaunaka Rishi, they are asking to Suta Goswami, please tell us more. And in doing so, because they have listened about Krishna, they are also expressing their opinion. And in these classic verses, like last 2 verses and then 3 more, they are criticizing person who is not interested in hearing Krishna, or pastimes of Krishna, or anything that is leading to Krishna. So this particular verse is very heavy in that sense. Prabhupada spoke on 3 occasions, same here in Los Angeles, New Dwarka, on June 13th, 14th, and 15th, 1972. Your beautiful classes, you know. So, to summarize Srila Prabhupada, what he said, as you know, it's even clear in the purport. Prabhupada explains in more detail why he is calling people, like Srimad Bhagavatam, is calling people as dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. For dogs, he mentions 2 qualities. It barks unnecessary and it wags for food. So, Prabhupada says that, you know, universities, they make us like dog. We wag for food, you know, and then we bark that, you know, this is my country, this is my domain. So that is doggish mentality, Prabhupada condemning. Interestingly, Prabhupada starts the lecture, because you have got a human form of life, you need to hear. That's how Prabhupada starts his lecture. So like Athato Brahma Jigyasa, kind of, you know, same way. So because we are humans, and because the only difference, the only thing that differentiates us from animal life is inquiring about spiritual knowledge. Therefore, Prabhupada says, therefore you should hear. And he goes on to mention from whom to hear. The beauty of Prabhupada's lecture is that you get a question and then in a couple of minutes you get answer also. Because, you know, it's very systematically. So Prabhupada mentioned who is Guru. And then, you know, he mentions that in connection of this verse, that people glorify the man who are bigger dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. So for dogs, he mentions 2 things, barking and wagging for food. Second, for hog, he mentions they eat anything, even stool. Actually, here there are pig farms. So we see the pigs very pinkish and pretty, you know, neat and clean. But India, you know, it shows the reality, you know, pretty drastically. You know, in India, the pigs are called, you know, morning cleaners, you know, because previously, sorry, it's little graphic, but people used to defect openly, and then these hogs used to come and they used to eat that because that was their delicacy, and they used to clean also in process. So Bhagavatam is comparing people to hogs, because why? They eat anything and everything, which generally hogs do. Then the third, Prabhupada mentioned about camels. So why camels? Because camels eats his own blood and he feels it's tasty. Srila Prabhupada mentions in purport, it's like, you know, sex life. It's like eating our own blood and feeling taste. So he's compared to as camel, and then, you know, Gardhavraj, you know, ass, you know, Baisakhi Nandan, you know, one who barks in a summer, you know. So this ass, he thinks that if I don't carry this load, I won't get my food. So he says people, materialistic people, they work very hard because they think that my source of income is my source of maintenance, which is not true. Actually, the source of income is not source of maintenance. I may earn $1 million, but if I have paralysis, I cannot lift my hand. For me, somebody else is maintaining. That's, you know, Paramatma and Lord Krishna. Devotee understand. So Prabhupada compares to, you know, ass. So this was like, you know, kind of summary of Prabhupada's lecture. So we will see 2 more points, that how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments about this verse. So it is said devotee is expert. So when he wants to criticize, he will also criticize very expertly. But of course, with the purpose of enlightenment again. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that animals, they glorify human. You know, like a dog is saying that you are a human. You know, as a dog, I have just a quality like a dog, or as a camel, I have just quality like a camel. But you being human, you have qualities of all animals. And the funny thing is, you know that this path will lead you to hell. Like we are dumb animals. Anyway, as an animal, I am just bound my karma and I behave like a more or less machine. But you human, even with a advanced consciousness, you are acquiring qualities of all of our animals. So you are great. It's like criticizing in a way to awaken. So this is how actually Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments about this verse. So then a question may come, what is a practical application of this verse in my life? Right? Because it's pretty heavy. So it is said that when somebody is asleep, and if we have to wake them up, we have to make a big sound. So people in general, they are so much in deep sleep of ignorance. To wake them up, scriptures speak heavy things like this. Now in this verse, Shaunakadi Rishi, they are mentioning about the qualities of a person who doesn't hear about Krishna. Next 3 verses, they'll zoom and explain each senses what it is compared to. So sometimes when we feel slack in our own spiritual life, it's good to read these verses to chastise ourselves actually. Pretty heavy. Also, this verse has a practical application, preaching application rather, wherein it states the principle of comfort the afflicted and afflict the comforted. If somebody is very much comfortable in material life, we can tell these verses and tell actually how much they are in ignorance. And other verses, of course, there are where somebody is very much troubled, we can speak Krishna's kindness. So that's the practical application of this particular verse. And then we also see that how. So till now we saw Prabhupada's. First of all, we saw the setting in which this verse fits in, like how Shaunakadi Rishi is mentioning. Then we saw Prabhupada's focus about this 4 animals, and he justly mentions why people are compared to each one of them. Then we saw Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comment about how he says that actually animals glorify such people, that we can just have quality of one animal, but you humans, you have qualities of all animals, despite knowing that it's going to lead you to the hell. And then the 4th thing we'll discuss is about the practical application, how these verses tell the reality very distinctly, very clearly, so that person can wake up from our ignorance state of mind. And then the last thing we'll see is that how devotees who are addicted to listen about Krishna, who are who know their purpose of life, who are very much grounded in reality, even sometimes they would like to become like a dog, but with complete different mindset. This is a nice Vaishnava song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We just had his disappearance day. Sarvasva tomar charane sampiya, podiche tomar ghare, তুমি তো ঠাকুর তোমার কুকুর ভুলিয়া জানা মোরে. So he says that now that I have surrendered all I possess, I fall prostrate before your house. You are the Supreme Lord. Kindly consider me as your household dog. So Acharya says, okay, if you want to be a dog, be a dog like this now. And he also says what he would like to eat. You know, if you really like to eat. बांधिया निकटे हमारे पालिबे रहिबो तोमार द्वारे प्रतिपजने रे असिते ना दिबो राखिबो गदेर पारे. So he says, as a dog, chain me nearby and maintain me as you will. I shall remain at the doorstep and allow no enemies to enter your house. I'll keep them at the bounds of the moat surrounding your home. तव निज जन प्रसाद सेविया उच्चिष्ट राखिबे जहाँ अमार भोजन परमानंदे प्रतिदिन बेतहा. Whatever remnants your devotees throw, I will accept that. After honoring your prasad, I will accept that as my daily sustenance. I will feast on those remnants with great ecstasy. If you want to really eat, what we should eat? The remnants of Lord and His devotees. Tavan bosiya suniya tomar charana chintibo satata ami nachite nachite jaibo jakheno dakhibo tumi. While sitting up, while laying down, I will constantly meditate on your lotus feet. Whenever you call me, I will immediately run to you and dance in rapture. Nijer poshana kabuna bhavibo rahibo bhaver bhore bhakti vinoda tomar palaka boliya varan kore. I will never think of my own maintenance, but rather remain transported by a multitude of ecstasies. Bhakti Vinod accepts you as his only support. So devotees, they don't behave like dog and bark, but rather they think that they are like, dogs of Lord Krishna. They don't eat like hogs, anything and everything, but they eat nice Krishna Prasad and the remnants of Maha of devotees. They don't work like ass, but they know that Krishna is the maintainer and he will sustain. That doesn't mean they don't do their duty. They do their duty with best they can, but morning time, evening time, weekends, they engage in service, as a household and as a brahmacharis, full time. So, in essence, these verses are pretty heavy and purport especially pretty graphic, but they should just serve as a reminder to make sure we follow the process nicely and we always remember that at the end of the day, what matters is how we are able to remember Krishna. And then during our interactions, we can devise means so that we can remind each other of Krishna. This is simple. While going, talking with each other, we talk so many things, right? So just, we can have a game, whenever we meet with our devotee friend, we can ask a question, okay, tell me who said this to whom? So, what's the news, this is famous dialogue, what's the news? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visits Haridas Thakur, he asks, what's the news? And Haridas Thakur say, oh Lord, my body is very well, but my mind is not well because I could not finish my rounds. Something like that. So, we can have such new ways in which we can try to remind each other about Krishna. And then, like yesterday Prabhuji was mentioning, Bhagavati Prabhu, Nikatastha Mayatara Jhapatiya Dhare. If we always remind each other of Krishna, then Maya won't catch us. Otherwise, Bhagavatam is pretty strong about then, how we behave. So with this, would like to stop. So just to revise, we saw how this verse is setting, wherein Shaunak Rishi, they are expressing their eagerness to know about, to hear more about Krishna. Then we saw how Prabhupada very nicely compares people with these 4 animals and very justly gives the reasons why he is comparing. And then we saw the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, wherein the animals are criticizing the humans for behaving the way they behave. And then we saw the practical application of this verse. Whenever we feel like, spaced out, we can chastise ourselves by reading these verses. And then we saw the prayer by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, wherein how these tendencies we can actually used in relation with Krishna. And then we saw some practical ways to remind each other about Krishna. So with this, would like to stop. Any questions or comments? Okay. Okay. Maharaj.
Thank you very much for a very enlightening class. I apologize that I could not understand all of it for some reason, the speed of the speech and the pitch of the voice. Therefore, I've lost many of the points that you made, which were obviously very absorbing and very enlightening, because I could see so many devotees were enchanted by what you had to say, and that's very, very nice. So what I'd like to ask you is that, as you mentioned in your speech, as well as it was in the purport, that people are acting like cats and dogs and camels and asses, and they are in very animalistic conditions, and the results of their lives, as we can see today especially, is very rueful, very sad, very pitiful, and yet they go on acting like camels, asses, and dogs, and so forth, notwithstanding that we have given millions and millions of books explaining how not to be a dog and a cat and a camel and an ass, and that there is an alternative, and that one does not have to experience and feel the pains and sufferings that they are going through, especially today, and they see no relationship between this suffering, the virus that they're going through, no relation between that and the lifestyle that they have chosen, as you have mentioned, cats and dogs and camels and asses. They seem to feel that either you get lucky and don't get those things, which has nothing to do with luck. It has all to do with our whole lifestyle, starting from the point that I don't want to be a competitor to Krishna, to God. All I want to be is a servant of the Lord. And as a servant of the Lord promises that he will take care of me, assuming that I will depend upon him as his servant. And there is a simple solution. And they're going for all these different chemical methods, and that they think that these things can be solved through these different, as I said, chemical and other means, rather than going to the root of it all. Who is giving this? They don't think this is being given. They think it is simply happening. And unfortunately, we have to become more and more emphatic and more persuasive and more expressive of this idea that you do have a chance. You don't have to accept this. You can depend upon the Lord. And if you do that, he has promised that he will protect you. He will guide you. He will direct you. He will give you what you need to go on and go up to higher and higher levels of consciousness.
That's right.
So, why aren't they turning to people who are reading our books? Why aren't they turning to that explanation which I just briefly given? What's holding them back from doing that?
Thank you for elaborate comment, Maharaj. So, as per my understanding, it's just they still don't have enough pious sukruti Agyat Sukruti we call it. And second, they don't have strong intervention of a pure devotee or their representative in their lives. When Prabhupada was in the West, that time compared to now, people were more ignorant, in the sense they were high on the drugs and all kind of details we know. But because of Srila Prabhupada's pure devotee's strong intervention, they could realize, as you said, that the source of all problem is forgetting Krishna, and then if we depend on Krishna, he will maintain us, and that's why so many devotees joined, so many people joined. So nowadays, that's not happening because of, as I was mentioning, two reasons. First, there is not strong intervention, and some people, they may be reading Srila Prabhupada books, but they may be doing it in a challenging spirit, or to find faults, or, may not be with a proper consciousness. So unless they do it with proper consciousness, or unless a devotee teaches them how to approach the books, or unless a devotee gives his association or prasad, till then there is no chance. Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnavi Swalpa Punya Vritam Rajan Vishwasone Vajayate. One will not have faith on Mahaprasad, on Govinda and devotees, if he has Swalpa Punya, if he has very less pious credit. So as a devotee, it's our responsibility. We follow teachings given by Prabhupada nicely, and then we try to intervene as much as possible, clear the misconception, distribute the books. Those who have questions while reading the books. I know there was a young lady, she started reading Bhagavad Gita, and in one of the purport, Prabhupada says that women are less intelligent. She stopped reading Bhagavad Gita. So then we need to explain, why, in which context is mentioned. So when the devotee extends himself and does that, then the books will start having effect. So that's what little my understanding.
I would just add to that.
Yes, please, Maharaj.
That it seems that it takes a lot and a lot and a lot of pain and suffering, difficulty, problems, trials, tribulations, till a person reaches a point and stops believing in the false materialistic solutions that he is supposed to get for his problems. So everyone has a threshold, and that threshold, when it's reached, one simply throws up his arms and says, I have to find a different solution because I'm not solving anything. So many people are dying, so many are suffering, and so what is the solution? So this is part of a plan, it appears to me, that Krishna has to bring people to that very devastated position whereby they have to look at those books that they received and look at them with not jaundiced eyes, but with open eyes, because now they're ready for a new possibility, whereas before all they wanted to do is lord it over the material world, be a powerhouse, be a manager, be a dictator, be a director, and that was their goal, but it's not working.
Yeah.
This is the point.
Yeah, nice. Thank you, Maharaj. In Hindi there is saying, "Lato ke bhut baaton se nahi mante." That means a person who understands only the language of stick, he cannot understand language of words. So, as you mentioned, a person who understands the language of stick means unless you beat him, he'll not realize. If you talk him nicely, he won't realize. You have to keep, hit hard. So, as you mentioned, I think Krishna is hitting hard. So, yes, thank you for adding.
Thank you very much.
That may work sometimes. Okay, Jai Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanand.